thing that separates us is what we've been taught to believe. But don't you be deceived. Oh yeah, we are one. We are one.
America's possibilities are limitless, for we possess all the qualities that this world without boundaries demands. Youth and drive, diversity and openness, an endless capacity for risk, and a gift for reinvention. My fellow Americans, we are made for this moment, and we will seize it so long as we seize it together.
And it's everywhere you go. You see it in the eyes.
We shall overcome. Deep in my heart, I do believe we shall overcome. Though I join hands so often with students and others behind jail bars singing, we shall overcome. Sometimes we've had tears in our eyes when we joined together to sing it, but we still decided to sing it. We shall overcome. Now, before this victory's won, some will have to get thrown in jail some more, but we shall overcome. Don't worry about us. Before the victory's won, some of us will lose jobs, but we shall overcome. Before the victory's won, even some will have to face physical death. Physical death is the price that some must pay to free their children from a permanent psychological death. Then nothing shall be more redemptive. We shall overcome. Before the victory's won, some will be misunderstood and called bad names and dismissed as rabble-rousers and agitators, but we shall overcome. And I'll tell you why. We shall overcome because the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends toward justice. We shall overcome because Carlyle is right. No lie can live forever. We shall overcome because William Cullen Bryant is right. Truth crushed to earth will rise again. We shall overcome because James Russell Lowell is right. Truth forever on the scaffold, wrong forever on the throne. Yet that scaffold sways the future. Behind the dim unknown standeth God within the shadow, keeping watch above his own. We shall overcome because the Bible is right. You shall reap what you sow. We shall overcome. Deep in my heart, I do believe we shall overcome. And with this faith, we will go out and adjourn the councils of despair and bring new light into the dark chambers of pessimism. And we will be able to rise from the fatigue of despair to the buoyancy of hope. And this will be a great America. We will be the participants in making it so. And so as I leave you this evening, I say, walk together, children. Don't you get weary. There's a great camp meeting in the palace.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Hello, Facebook. Who you Googling, Google. What you talking about, Twitter. Welcome, YouTube and internet listeners all around the world to Let's Talk About It, where we believe injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. And we also believe free your mind, honey, and your ass will follow. Welcome once again. I am your host, the wild and wonderful Brenda White, coming to you live from the city beautiful Orlando, Florida, where it is 86 degrees and sunny. Let's Talk About It is the winner of the Spreaker U Voice 2012 award for the most informative. I am your host, the wild and wonderful Brenda White, and helping me to talk about it and always helping me to keep you informed is the uppity and well-read Jacqueline Lambert, aka Miss Uppity Speaks. Jackie, are you there?
I am here and I am ready to roll.
Okay, the monkeys and the crowd welcome you. Okay, as you know, Jackie is the co-producer of Let's Talk About It, and she is the reason for the season, so to speak. She prepares all of our schedules and all of our topics, and tonight's topic is make them get off the pot. Jackie, now where in the devil did you get that title?
Well, I have been following the goings-on around the gun control debate and the budget and the sequester and all of those other things.
Mm-hmm.
And it just occurred to me that it is time for our Republican brethren to either do something or just get out of the way. Just get off the topic.
Okay, well, I'm glad you explained yourself, because all I could do when I saw it was burst out laughing. But we have much to talk about. Let me give y'all a quick rundown tonight of today's topics. What we going to be talking about, Miss Uppity is going to be informing us, because you know I can't do nothing but give y'all a bunch of ranting and raving and craziness, okay? But Miss Uppity gonna keep you informed. And tonight's topics: President Obama goes back to Newtown. Rants previous. What had happened was part 2. The president takes a pay cut. I can't wait to hear about this. The sequester, unemployment, and the budget. Then we have the brain study Jackie's going to be telling us about. And I don't believe I'm seeing this on the schedule, y'all. The problem with the duck dicks. Okay.
That's an important story. It's very important.
This is an important story, and I brought this story up last week on Up All Night with Brenda White, and it has not died. It's been like baby's kids. It has multiplied. So, it was called, the story was about the study of the duck penis. But you know us Negroes, we can't do right for the world. So we call it the duck dick studies.
Well, everybody understands what that is.
Yeah, they do.
Okay.
So we will continue with this subject tonight as it continues to heat up. And then, of course, we will wrap it up with our Negro Please, Dumbass Comment, Word of the Week, and the shameless plugs, and our thanks and appreciation. All right, Jackie?
Yes.
I think I just ran it down. Are you ready, baby, to bring it to us?
I am absolutely ready.
Please, let's start the topics for tonight, will you?
Okay. Well, we're starting with President Obama going back to Newtown, Connecticut, where 20 children and 6 staff members were gunned down by an unbalanced man with weapons of war.
Uh-huh.
And the Republican Party, and some conservative Democrats as well, but of course the Republicans are leading the charge on this, are working very hard to make sure that no new gun violence legislation is passed. Or if some is, it doesn't really make a big difference.
Yes, Jack, and I'm going to try to hold my rant until you finish making your points, because when you start talking about that, you start making me mad.
I don't mean to make you mad, B. I'm not making you mad.
No,
it's those other people
that's right.
Mad. I'm just telling you what they're doing.
Yeah, it's those bastards on the pot that's making me mad.
Now, what did we say about name calling, B?
You said we weren't going to do it no more. Sorry, I called y'all a name.
Yeah, but they are some bastards.
Jackie, you are not helping me.
That's right, I'm not.
Because, see, you know my cusser ain't so.
Yes,
but
I know.
I'm trying to do better because, you know, I have the altar, and my daddy was a preacher, and mama wouldn't want me cussing, and daddy and Pastor Collier don't want me cussing. So I'm trying to stop cussing. God is not through with me yet. All right.
And
so
you're thankful for that.
Yes, we thankful for that. And I will try to think of some more low down names that I can call them other than cussing them. But bastard is in the Bible, so that ain't bad.
Okay, if you say so.
Okay, go ahead.
Anyhow, I must say that I'm very impressed that President Obama is just not letting this go.
Ooh,
and
me
every
too.
time that he talks about the Newtown shooting, you can see it really affects him.
Yes, Jackie, it does.
He feels that.
And
I'm sure he looks at his 2 daughters and looks at all the other little kids, and the very idea that you are cut down like that when you are 6 years old, you haven't even started living your life. And it is my understanding, Vice President Biden said, of course, because the firepower that this shooter had was so lethal, that these babies were just cut in half.
Yeah, Jackie, as they
talk,
talk,
it was extremely grotesque.
Yeah, as they talked about how he deliberately left certain clips at home because they found later that he did have clips with less bullets in them.
Oh, yeah.
But he chose the one with the most bullets in them.
Exactly, that he wanted to do maximum
And this
damage.
is this whole point of this thing, Jackie. They are just trying to get universal background check so that if someone who just got out of prison is trying to buy a gun and you do your universal background check quickly on a computer, which everybody has today, you might get a flag that says, oh, just released from prison, threatened to kill his wife.
Yeah, and there are three things that are really important that they're looking at in the gun control legislation. The first is universal background checks. The second is having stiffer penalties for people who buy guns who are gun traffickers.
Yes.
You know, if my cousin Ray just got out of prison,
Mm-hmm.
and he comes out and he says to me, "Hey, Jackie, I need a gun for protection." Now, I know that Ray killed two brothers down there in the parking lot at the grocery store. That's what he got locked up for.
Mm-hmm.
And he's out now, and he needs a firearm. And since I have a clean record, I go and buy that for him.
Mm-hmm.
Then I should be in terrible trouble.
That's right.
And right now, the law is not like that you can do that. There are people who make a living doing just that.
Just that. And Jackie, there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. Let me take just a second or two, Jackie, and add a little input to this.
Okay.
You know, they talked about these security programs that they have for the school, the NRC. They are training, you know.
The NRA?
The NRA. They are training the security people that will be sent out throughout the country to protect the kids at school. Mm-hmm. One of their gun-toting Barney Fifes.
Mm-hmm.
And the question was asked by Chris Matthews to one of these jokers representing the NRA. Well, how do you know that your security people aren't some, lunatic?
Yes.
What did he say to Chris, Jackie? Because we've given them background checks.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you tell me that made any sense.
Well,
Chris Matthews burst into laughter, and Alba told him it was bullshit. He said BS. This is a bunch of BS. Because you just told us that the way that you make sure that your armed guards that you will train and send out to the schools and the movie theaters and so on and so forth, you've done a background check on them, so you know they're all right. But here you deny the Congress, the Senate, the people to have a background check implemented into law so that we can, all over the nation can have the exact same thing. Jackie, they're crazy.
Well, Brenda, the thing that bothers me the most about all of this, especially the armed guards in the school thing,
mm-hmm.
Are we becoming a police state?
We're
this
looking
is
like
something that really concerns me. And I have to tell you that many years ago, like in the late 1980s, I went on vacation in Mexico with some girlfriends.
Mm-hmm.
And we flew out of San Francisco. We stopped in San Diego for, an hour or two, and then off we go to the Yucatan Peninsula. Right?
Mm-hmm.
When we got off of the airplane into the airport in Mexico,
mm-hmm.
there were guys dressed in their military greens with assault rifles strapped over their arms.
Mm-hmm.
I was mortified.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Jackie, it's very scary to see that.
I've been flying all over the universe. I was a young woman then in the late 80s.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been flying all over the universe. I had never seen anyone armed like that in an airport.
Jackie, it was very scary. And when I came home
mm-hmm.
from Japan, all the things that had happened, that I did not know about because I was in Japan for 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
And they had the guy with the shoe bomb and
Yes.
When I got back, you couldn't carry lotion, more than an ounce or two or whatever it was. And I flew home for Thanksgiving. And when I flew into Memphis, my home, when I flew into Memphis, Jackie, it was the scariest thing to see armed soldiers and dogs in our airports.
Yes.
It was very frightening.
Airport.
Yes.
And the thing that upsets me the most about this is, of course, if you are a gun manufacturer, you love this because it's more business for you. But we live in a civil society.
Mm-hmm.
And this really concerns me, this whole push towards, well, we should be able to have assault rifles with 200 bullets in the clip.
And Jackie, how much money is enough for them? I mean, this is all that this is about. They don't want background checks because they know who buy guns.
Absolutely. And they're
criminals, the insane ones. And how do you know that one of these school guards isn't going to snap one morning because his wife left him?
Oh, exactly correct. And putting somebody armed in the school is just, to me, it's unthinkable.
Jackie, it's almost like what are the statistical numbers on people that own guns or guns in home? They're more likely to hurt themselves or someone in the home.
Intruder, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And the other thing too that concerns me, school is not prison; it's school.
Yes.
And why
and Jackie, if it scared me to see them in the airport, don't you know it's going to scare little kids to death?
Yes, but this whole argument, this whole debate, to me has come down to more than just gun laws. It is about what kind of society we are going to be, what kind of culture are we going to have in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
So it's this is very meaningful, and I know a lot of people kind of blow it off or don't think it's really that important. It is incredibly important. I should be able to walk out of my house in a civil society without fear of being gunned down.
Absolutely.
Without fear of being molested.
And Jackie,
okay?
We just don't know.
If we do not get a handle on this crap, we're all going to have to be packing everywhere we go.
Listen, we just don't know. School guards and bus drivers and anybody can snap.
Absolutely.
And so this is frightening. And
yes, and if you do snap, if you don't have a firearm, it is less likely that there's going to be a lot of bodily injury and mortality.
A
lot of casualties and death.
I mean, we have enough, Jackie, if somebody's carrying a knife.
Oh, I know. Isn't that true?
I mean, I read a story that our good friend and homegirl Deborah Coleman posted last night on Facebook. Someone stabbing 14 people.
Yes, I heard that, and I still don't understand how that worked, but yes.
Okay, who was this guy? I mean, can you imagine? He has a knife, and he stabbed 14 people. What do you think would have happened if he had a 100-round clip?
Exactly. Replace that knife with an assault rifle, with a Bushmaster.
Oh.
Then what do you have? Exactly.
You got complete chaos, disaster, and many more deaths and injuries.
Yes, that's absolutely true. Well, President Obama, when he went to Newtown, he gave an absolutely marvelous, wonderful address.
Yes, he did.
And I have prepared a little synopsis.
Yes, I have it. Would you like for me to play it now?
Yeah, and if you could play that now, I would appreciate it.
I'll be so glad to do it. It was wonderful.
Now, back in January, just a few months after the tragedy in Newtown, I announced a series of executive actions to reduce gun violence and keep our kids safe. And I put forward common sense proposals, much like those that passed here in Connecticut, for Congress to consider. And you'll remember in my State of the Union address, I urged Congress to give those proposals a vote. And that moment is now. As soon as this week, Congress will begin debating these common sense proposals to reduce gun violence. But much of Congress is going to only act if they hear from you. the American people. So here's what we have to do. I appreciate that. Here's what we've got to do. We have to tell Congress it's time to require a background check for anyone who wants to buy a gun so that people who are dangerous to themselves and others cannot get their hands on a gun. Let's make that happen. We have to tell Congress it's time to crack down on gun trafficking so that folks will think twice before buying a gun as part of a scheme to arm someone who won't pass a background check. Let's get that done. We have to tell Congress it's time to restore the ban on military-style assault weapons and a 10-round limit for magazines to make it harder for a gunman to fire 154 bullets into his victims in less than 5 minutes. Let's put that to a vote. We have to tell Congress it's time to strengthen school safety and help people struggling with mental health problems get the treatment they need before it's too late. Let's do that for our kids and for our community. Now, I know that some of these proposals inspire more debate than others, but each of them has the support of the majority of the American people. All of them are common sense. All of them deserve a vote. All of them deserve a vote. Consider background checks. Over the past 20 years, background checks have kept more than 2 million dangerous people from getting their hands on a gun. So we know that background checks can work, but the problem is loopholes in the current law let so many people avoid background checks altogether. That's not safe. It doesn't make sense. If you're a law-abiding citizen and you go through a background check to buy a gun, wouldn't you expect other people to play by the same rules? If you're a law-abiding gun seller, wouldn't you want to know you're not selling your gun to someone who's likely to commit a crime? Shouldn't we make it harder, not easier, for somebody who's convicted of domestic abuse to get his hands on a gun? It turns out 90% of Americans think so. 90% of Americans support universal background checks. Think about that. How often do 90% of Americans agree on anything? And yet, there's only one thing that can stand in the way of change that just about everybody agrees on, and that's politics in Washington. You would think that with those numbers, Congress would rush to make this happen. That's what you would think. If our democracy is working the way it's supposed to, and 90% of the American people agree on something, in the wake of a tragedy, you'd think this would not be a heavy lift. And yet some folks back in Washington are already floating the idea that they may use political stunts to prevent votes on any of these reforms. Think about that. They're not just saying they'll vote no on ideas that almost all Americans support. They're saying they'll do everything they can to even prevent any votes on these provisions. They're saying your opinion doesn't matter. And that's not right. That is not right. We need a vote. I've also heard some in the Washington press suggest that what happens to gun violence legislation in Congress this week will either be a political victory or defeat for me. Connecticut, this is not about me. This is not about politics. This is about doing the right thing for all the families who are here that have been torn apart by gun violence. It's about them and all the families going forward so we can prevent this from happening again. That's what it's about. It's about the law enforcement officials putting their lives at risk. That's what this is about. This is not about politics. This is not about politics.
Amen, Mr. President. That was a wonderful, heartfelt speech, Jackie. I don't know what we have to do here, but I'm telling you, everything screams to me that these congressmen, these senators are being paid by these people. How can you have the Congress and the Senate so damn corrupt?
Brenda, I have asked myself that question a zillion times, because if you look even back to the 1920s and 30s when Machine Gun Kelly and those guys were out shooting up Americans, back then the Congress immediately passed a law to outlaw machine guns.
Yes.
And there was no big uproar about, oh, my Second Amendment rights. No.
It is so obvious to us, Jackie. Listen, if these people are given to your campaigns, it's just paying you. It's bribery.
Exactly correct.
I don't give a darn how you put it. It's bribery. And as long as this money stays in our Congress and in our Senate and our political system, it's bribery.
Yes, it most certainly is.
And it ought to be against the law, damn it.
Yes, it certainly should.
It's against the law everywhere else. in everything else that we do, Jackie.
Yes.
They will nail a governor if he took money to do, when they do it right in our faces.
Yes.
Don't let me get to ranting.
Yeah, but that is the question that people have to ask themselves about this. Who gets paid?
Who gets paid?
Gets paid. Follow the money. And
that brought that right to your bullet under this topic that we're talking about. I brought you right to it, didn't I? Who gets paid?
Yes. And one of the things that I also wanted to point out, I know we have to go to break here in about a minute.
Okay.
One of the other things that I wanted to point out is that gun sales are declining, believe it or not, worldwide.
Mm-hmm.
And in the United States, even though it is estimated that there are 300 million guns in the United States that are bought by private parties,
mm-hmm.
people are buying fewer and fewer weapons.
Mm-hmm.
And the gun manufacturers, because in other parts of the world, for instance, in Europe, you can't just go buy a gun. And in Australia, Jill told us about the way that they control
mm-hmm.
purchase
mm-hmm.
of guns and where you can store them and where you can use them for your target practice or anything like that.
Yeah.
So the sales of firearms continues to decrease.
Mm-hmm.
And so because of the Second Amendment and the corrupt people here in the United States who seem to be unwilling to do anything to curb gun violence
mm-hmm.
and gun ownership in this country, they have staked out the United States and specifically the National Rifle Association to help
mm-hmm.
them to keep their business as big as it is. I mean, there will always be a market for people to buy guns.
Yes. And Jackie, I don't understand. There's just not enough money for them because this is all about greed.
It sure is.
There's just not enough money for them because you can't make one simple, sane law.
Yes.
A background check. Driver's license, we got it.
Yes.
Car insurance, you got to have it.
Yes.
I mean, this is no different. When health insurance came about, that was no different than having a driver's license to me. and you had to have a driver's license, and people have to pay a little bit into the healthcare system, but you got to pay for your registration every year. You got to pay for your registration. You got to pay for the upkeep of your car. You can't just have any kind of car on the road. You had to make those laws, or people just won't do right.
Yes, and the whole point of this is, in order to wrap this up, I just want to say this. We've talked about this more than once on the show, and I will say it again. With every right that we have, there is a responsibility that accompanies that right. You cannot have rights without having responsibility. And that's what this is all about.
Yes. And who doesn't want to take responsibility in a situation like this?
Well, obviously, members of Congress.
Obviously, members of Congress. And welcome to the show in the chat room, our good friend, Darcy Della Prosa, the voice for the voiceless, one child at a time, as she goes around the world to help and free children who are unjustly locked up. And we are have much focus right now on Devontae Stanford, accused of murdering 4 people at the young age of 14 and has been locked up for 14 years. And I continue to salute him, pray for him, and celebrate his life here at all of the Brenda White shows every day. So you made a perfect entrance, Darcy, as I was about to go to a commercial break. Welcome to Let's Talk About It. Hi, this is Brenda White of the Brenda White Shows right here at Spreaker.com, inviting you to join me every Monday night from 7 until 9 p.m. and every Wednesday night from 8 until 10 p.m. for words of inspiration and prayer from the altar with Pastor Mitty Collier. I promise you a shouting good time. And Pastor Collier will give us that much needed food for the soul. And then I will top that off with the best gospel music on the net. So join me every Monday from 7 until 9 and every Wednesday from 8 until 10 p.m. Eastern Time right here for words of inspiration and prayer from the altar with Pastor Mitty Collier at Spreaker.com. And I'll see you in the chat room. Oh, yes, indeed. Yes, 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 yes. Oh, that is my new BFF, Janine Latrice Perez. Her new CD dropped December the 18th. I Put a Spell on You. She has been here before. Y'all go to iTunes and buy that thing. You talking about the old time, give it that good old feeling, jazz. Oh, my goodness. My friend Janine Latrice Perez. Okay, so Jackie and I are back. I am the wild and wonderful Brenda White and the uppity and well-read Jackie Lambert, aka Miss Uppity Speaks. We are back talking about it with you and keeping you informed. Okay, so Jackie, we are ready to continue on now and start up with Rance Privis.
Oh, I'm sorry, Brenda. That is Mr. Rank.
Okay, correct me anytime. I'm sorry, that's right. Okay, you got to say it just right.
Just right.
Rance
Just right.
Privis.
And I wanted to talk about this today, and you guys will get the point here very shortly. But a couple of weeks ago, in the show that we did a couple of weeks ago, one of the things that we focused on was the Republican post-mortem of the 2012 election.
Mm-hmm.
And they were just amazed that they did so badly. And the only reason that they held on to the Congress was because of the way they had drawn the districts in Republican-controlled states.
Mm-hmm.
That is the only reason why we still have a Republican majority in Congress.
Mm-hmm. Because
more than 1 million people, the Democrats received 1 million more votes for Congress than the Republicans did.
And Jackie?
So the Republicans, they know that they're not very popular.
Well, we got a new Democrat. We got a new Democrat, excuse me for interrupting, last night out of Chicago.
Yes.
In Congress. And so there's one more we got.
Yes.
And we are looking forward to, what is it, the 2014 elections?
Yes, we are.
Yes, just let them.
It's going to be a heavy lift, but I believe that we can do it.
Yeah, well, you know, Jackie, they're helping us greatly.
Yes, they are, but with the districts drawn the way they are, I mean, the question is, how does Michelle Bachmann maintain a seat in Congress? Those are the kind of questions you have to ask yourself.
Yes, that is a problem, and that is what they're working on every single day as they change laws and rush them through.
Yes, well, but that's another topic, B. So let's get back to this. Okay?
All right, here we go.
Now, Reince Priebus gave his report where he let everybody know that they have seen the light. Right?
Yes.
And we do have a little bit of that speech, if you'll just play that for us.
I would love to. Here we go.
Okay.
We can be true to our principles without being disrespectful to those who don't agree with 100% of them. Finding common ground with voters will be our top priority. In order to combat misperceptions, we will premiere an aggressive marketing campaign across the country, especially in communities we haven't been in a long time, about what it means to be a Republican. We're going to establish regular focus groups and listening sessions to ensure we're on target in these communities. Because it all goes back to what our moms used to tell us. It's not just what you say, it's how we say it.
Aw, ain't that sweet?
It's incredibly sweet.
It's not just what we say, like my mama used to say. It's how you say it.
Yes.
Who among us?
No,
I'm
we
sorry.
gotta go right to this.
Okay.
So after that, that's what Mr. Priebus said, and he's the head Republican, right?
Right.
But then you get, and if you could play the Don Young clip.
Absolutely. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
I used to, my father had a ranch. We used to hire 50 to 60 wetbacks and to pick tomatoes. You know, it takes 2 people to pick the same tomatoes now. It's all done by machine.
He did not blatantly call
Yes, he
the
did.
Mexican
that's
culture.
the equivalent of calling a black person a nigger.
Wetbacks.
And he said that on the radio.
And Jackie, it rolled off his tongue like ice cream. There is no, I didn't mean to say it, and they had to get on his case and talk to him a couple of days before he apologized.
Before he actually apologized.
Yeah, you are making him apologize for shit.
He didn't see anything the matter with it.
He didn't see nothing wrong with it. That's why I rolled off his tongue as sweet as ice cream. And they, they had him on the phone, and you could, Don, goddamn it, we're trying to win these dumbass people's votes. You can't say shit like that. Oh hell, I've been saying that for 60 years, 70 years. That's how he felt about it. Jackie, I looked up at the screen as I saw him saying it.
Yes.
And I did what you're doing. I burst out laughing. It's nothing else to be said when you see someone's total beliefs come full circle.
Oh, absolutely.
And roll off their tongue like butter.
Yes, but these are the folks who were telling us that they want brown people to come to their party and vote for their candidates.
Who among us, may I ask, who among us believes that if we switched and we voted for him because of this sweet Nellie Brown sugar talk they're giving us right now, that they're not going to flip and change all these laws and you got us in here now kiss our ass?
Oh, yeah, and I love that sugar talk.
Yeah, that's sweet Nellie Brown sugar talk.
They've been working so hard to keep the brown folks away from the polls. And Mr. Reince Priebus is leading the parade.
And Jackie, and they continue to work on it every single day as they pass these laws.
Absolutely. And
and they're telling us, we're not hurting you. They sound like some pimp that's poking you.
I know it. Here we go.
Yeah, you know I got to make the pimp analogy. They sound like some pimp that's busting your butt in the eye and saying, baby, I didn't hit you. I didn't hit you, baby. And
you like it.
You like it. And if I did hit you, come on, you like it. How many times we've been through this?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they really are trying to puck us.
Yes.
With no Vaseline and sugar and rub sugar on us at the same time. Just cinnamon sugar.
One of the things that Mr. Priebus said in his speech also is that the Republican Party had not done well in minority communities because of misconception.
And how did we get that misconception?
And he says that the focus groups described the Republican Party as narrow-minded, out of touch, and stuffy old men.
And Chris Matthews continues to call them angry old white men.
Well, I heard someone recently describe the Republican Party as stale, male, and pale. I think that pretty much sums it up, right?
Me and the monkeys, we like that. Jackie, that does sum it up.
Oh, yes. And so the question I have for you and for the listeners is, do the Republicans truly want to appeal to the brown folks out here in the country?
No, they don't. They just want your vote.
Yeah, they just want.
They don't want to appeal nothing to you.
Think about this. I have been the further we get away from the November election, the happier I am that Mitt Romney was not elected.
They want you.
I want you to think about that. I want everybody to just think about, with this group of Republicans now, with this Republican Party, how screwed would we be? Republican president and a Republican Congress.
Jackie, I don't even want to think about it.
And I want everybody to think about one other thing, too. Do you know how they got apartheid in South Africa?
I do not.
Okay, this is what happened.
What happened was?
Yes, black folks were running South Africa because, of course, they were the majority of the people. The white people who lived in South Africa, they wanted more of the black folks stuff than they had already stolen, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there was corruption in the government and this, that, and the other. And so the black folks said, well, look, let's give these white people a chance because maybe they can do better than our folks have been doing.
Mm-hmm.
And when they voted in the white prime minister and the white parliament, the first thing they did was take all the black people's stuff and deprive them of the right to vote. And then they had, 50 years
of
apartheid and brutality.
And
it
brutality.
was all illegal.
And if they didn't agree with them, they started by going to the schools, shooting them up. Let's get them little ones before they grow up.
Oh, absolutely.
And shot them down like dogs.
Brutal regime. That is what they got.
And we
so
said,
whenever I hear the Republicans doing their little, oh no, we love the colored folks. That's what I always think of.
No.
And it took all of that suffering and all of that fighting. Nelson Mandela imprisoned for 40 years.
Okay. Jackie, when you say it like that to me, I know better. I know you don't really like me because you are discussing how to talk to me.
Exactly correct.
I don't need to know how to talk to you or Darcy. I know you're beautiful people. I love my conversations with you. And I'm not going to say something that offends Darcy because it's not in my heart.
That's right.
What a man thinketh in his heart comes out of his dad-burned mouth. It's in the Bible like that somewhere.
And that's exactly what it is in the Bible.
Yeah. What he thinketh in his heart. I may not have it all right, and I may not have verse and chapter.
No, but you're right.
But what he thinketh in his heart comes out of his dad-burned mouth. And what that boy Don Young thought,
yes,
that's why it rolled off his tongue the way it did. Like melting ice cream.
And the guy that he was talking to didn't even skip a beat. They just kept on talking.
Okay, and Darcy says, so true. Darcy Delaprose over in the UK, she knows it's so true. Darcy comes here, she stays with black folks or white folks or whoever that loves her. Brown, pink, okay, pink polka dot folks. It doesn't matter to her. Why? Because it's not in her heart that they are anything other than children of God.
Exactly.
And when
and that brings me to the next point.
Uh-oh.
Come on.
Uh-oh. Come on, preach, Jackie. What?
Come on. It brings me to the next point. The Republicans are always so offended when somebody refers to them as racist or bigoted.
Okay.
They are playing the race card, even though out of their own mouths, a state legislator in South Carolina says, well, yes, Obamacare is good for us, but we can't agree with the black guy in the White House.
Yeah. It's good for us.
What I'm saying is, so maybe what it is maybe the Republicans aren't racist, but they only act.
Yeah. Well, you sure do act like it. And I don't know where it is in the Bible, but what a man acteth is what he believeth. Jackie, don't that sound like a chapter and verse to you? What a man acteth.
Let's just say it is.
It's certainly what he believeth.
No, I'm sorry, we can't, because I don't let you make stuff up like that.
Okay, Jackie.
I'm not doing my job.
Jackie is trying to make sure that I don't start lying like the Republicans, so she corrects me at any point. But I'm just saying, even if it ain't in the Bible, it ought to be. What a man acteth and believeth in his heart come out of his dad-burned moutheth.
Yes. Yes. So just like for the Brenda, these guys are talking about doing outreach to the darker folks.
I want to just stop you and ask you this, Jackie. Okay. Why in the puck do you need to be taught how to talk to people, black, white, green, or otherwise?
Because you do not respect them. And you think of them as so foreign and different from you that you need some kind of special language.
And might I add that your butt think you so much superior to them?
Yeah.
Than they are.
That those monkeys, they don't understand.
Yeah.
Because as Mitt Romney so eloquently put it, the only reason that all these brown folks voted for the Democrats was because President Obama gave us gifts.
Uh-huh. Now, and let me say this. Let me try to spread a little Democratic fear in you. I'm looking in a day now when they start putting chips in us just like the island of Dr. Monroe.
That's Dr. Moreau.
Dr. Moreau. Thank you, Jackie. And then every time you don't agree with them, they shock your ass. Y'all better watch what I say. Okay, that's another thing Jackie will not allow me to do is stoke fear. I'm just messing with y'all. Y'all know I have to keep the fun going in the show. Jackie provides us with the truth and the facts of the matter, and I break it down to Negro what it really means so y'all can understand with me, you know? Okay.
Well, B, the other thing, too, that I find absolutely hilarious is that they continue the stupid crap every time, they think they're making some headway. What are their boys?
They got, okay.
It pops his head up and
Yeah.
shows us what they actually think.
He pops his head up, Jackie, before they can do the wackadoo on one of their own.
Yeah.
He pops his head up and then he speaks. And then they run and get him, bring him to the woodshed. We got to talk with you. Didn't we just say yesterday? But it doesn't matter. It's like they can't wait to get out here and I'm going to tell them what I think.
Well, and that's one of the things that I do appreciate about this group of Republicans.
They will speak.
These boys will say.
They will speak their minds.
And they'll come out and say it, so you don't have to guess.
Yeah, and every time you do it, you would think, oh, no, he didn't say that. And you know it's coming. An apology, and a half-assed one at that.
Oh, yeah.
I that's just the way I talked 60 years ago. Boy, you ain't know that 60 years ago, y'all used to hang black folks, and we couldn't vote, and y'all beat them when you want. You knew better than to say that shit.
And the thing about it is, it was offensive 60 years ago.
And it's offensive now. Ah, you thought you had one over on us, didn't you? But we didn't believe that shit. But let me thank my stupid Republican brethren because and sisters, I love it when they do this because they just dig that, what they say when you got the whole Doug, stop digging, Jackie. What is that phrase? I forgot it, but it goes something like that and it means the same thing. I love it when they continue to dig that hole and it's like, okay, you just needed a little hole to put the foundation to pour the mold in for the house. After a while, you're digging a sinkhole, dog, for the house. Stop digging. But no, they can't stop.
But there's one other thing too. Since we're talking about this, you have one other clip on this topic.
Yes, I do.
Maybe it would help if the Republicans listen more closely to Governor Bobby Jindal of Louisiana.
Yeah, I think he tried to explain things. Let's listen to him.
Okay.
Come on, Bobby, do it. Explain it.
We've got to stop being the stupid party. And I'm serious. It's time for a new Republican Party that talks like adults. It's time for us to articulate our plans and our visions for America in real terms. It's no secret we had a number of Republicans that damaged the brand this year with offensive and bizarre comments. I'm here to say we've had enough of that.
Yep, me and the monkeys and the crowd agree. But shortly after he said that, somebody came up with another genius idea to come out and say some more offensive shit.
Oh, yes, because they just do enjoy it so, and obviously they don't know that they're being offensive.
And Bobby don't know that he's just one of the token darkies.
No, he does not. But, I think that he may be beginning to suspect.
Well, I sure hope it's time he spec it. It's time you start to suspect. But Jackie, they got one black senator in this term.
Well, they appointed the black guy from South Carolina, and of course, then the Democrats had to respond with their black guy from Massachusetts, and here we go.
Okay, what the deal said? I see you black, and I raised you one.
So we have now two appointed darkies in the Senate, and neither one of them is going to be there past the next election cycle. But hey.
Oh, Lord, I love it, Jackie. We see you dark and we raise you one. This is absolutely insane. But y'all, if Jackie and I did not do this show and talk about these things and kind of have a little fun on the side with it, I think both of our brains would explode, because this stuff.
Yes.
Darcy is in there laughing with us too. Your brain will explode. This is how I started doing this show. This is how I talked Jackie into doing the show. Jackie and I would call each other, and we would be on the phone for hours watching our favorite show, MSNBC, because MSNBC has sane people that tell the truth. And at one while, they were just beating up on Barack Obama, calling him weak, right along with the Fox people.
Mm-hmm.
But I stood through it all because I knew that they didn't understand what Barack Obama was doing and had to do. There were some things that Barack Obama could bring up and tackle in his first term, and there were things that he could not.
Absolutely.
But now that he's in his second term, he don't give a damn what you say about him. Because he's done it now, baby. He's made it. And he don't need your money. He don't need your nothing. He is the president.
Yeah.
And as one of our state senators called him Buckwheat is the president.
Well, amen.
And he will do what he wants to do. And what I love about it is that he really does love us, any colors that we are. And they try to say he hated white people. He hated black people. What? Make up your minds.
Why would he hate white people?
Why? He loved his grandmother and his grandfather and his mama to death.
Mm-hmm.
Why would he hate them?
And then he has a sister. His sister is Asian and white.
Okay. And he loves her.
He's got one of those multicolored families.
He loves his dark African grandmother.
Mm-hmm.
He loved his father. He just didn't know him.
Yeah.
And when somebody wrote to me, did you see, I don't remember what it was, 2016 or something? No, I don't waste my money on mess like that. Barack didn't even know his father. How the hell they gonna come up with some eyes that he got some plan?
It's got Dinesh D'Souza.
Oh yeah, get that.
But Dinesh D'Souza has made a tidy bit of money from his Obama slander.
Yes, Jackie, they all make money from these fools.
Mm-hmm.
And it's such a shame that they're being used and they're missing. Jackie, I wouldn't want to be on that side, the side of the radical, hateful Republican base.
Well, but Brenda, all of this stuff, though, is coming back to bite the Republicans, and it's going to bite them even harder than that. And
yes, it is. As our governor
on National Public Radio yesterday, in reference to the Republicans trying to get out of this funk that they're in. Mm-hmm. And what they've begun to say, they've been talking about how the libertarian wing, that is Rand Paul, who is a pseudo-libertarian, he's not an actual libertarian, is rising up in the party.
Yeah, Jackie, I want you to hold.
Let me finish. One of the things that's going on with them is they're saying we've got to cut these culture wars loose, as if their economic policies are any better than their culture wars.
Okay, Jackie, I want you to.
Of course, now we have the religious right, the culture warriors who helped to make them in the first place. Now they're all upset. Because you can't cut us loose because we made you, and it's true. They can't cut them loose. Mm-hmm. And they are not attracting any new people to replace those folks.
And when is Rand Paul speaking at Howard University? Listen, we're going to talk about that in just a minute. It is break time, Jackie. It's not that I didn't want to hear your point. I do, because you always got something great to say.
I like to finish.
Okay, so if you must finish, go ahead, and then we're going to take a break.
No, I'm done.
You done?
For now.
Yes. Okay, and when we come back, we might get a chance at the end to laugh a little bit about Rand Paul as he gets ready to speak at Howard University. All right. You're listening to Let's Talk About It.
This is Spreaker Web Radio.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Brenda Pearl, aka the wild and wonderful Brenda White, and I want to shed a little light for you about what's going on at Spreaker.com tonight. And what's going on is the triple threat in full effect, beginning with Dave the Rave Capers and that wild train ride called the Razor Blade Express from 6 until 9 p.m. And then from 9 until 1 a.m., it's Up All Night with Brenda White for the very best in jazz, R&B, soul, smooth hip-hop. And just to make you jump, I'm gonna sling some funk all upside your head. And if I am not able to please, then from 1 until 3 a.m., DJ Tony Sanchez, the Love Doctor, will supply your every need. So get ready for Spreaker's Thursday night triple threat in full effect, and we'll see you in the chat room right here at Spreaker.com. All times Eastern.
Trying to find my way. If the music makes you move and you can dig the groove, then groove on. If you feel like you wanna make love under the stars above, then love on, love on. If there's something you wanna say, and talking is the only way, rap on.
That sound more like everyone else than anyone else.
Far too many of you dying. You know 6 full of mercury. Oh, mercy, mercy me. Mercy, Lord. All things ain't what they used to be. No, no. Radiation underground and in the sky. Animals and birds who live nearby, they die. Oh, mercy, mercy me. All things ain't what they used to be. What about this overcrowded land? How much more abuse from man can she stand? Oh, no, no, no. No, I just can't stand it. No, 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 no. My sweet love, my sweet love.
Okay, we're back. The chimpanzees loved that. The crowd loved it. And Jackie and I did too. We had to take a little break there. You are back with the wild and wonderful Brenda White and the uppity and well-read Jacqueline Lambert, a.k.a. Miss Uppity Speaks. And we are still talking about it. And thank you for joining us, internet listeners all around the world. Okay, Jackie, so now we're back at it. And we are continuing to talk about it. And now let's talk about Jackie. As I told the audience at the top of the show, read off our headlines for tonight. The president takes a pay cut. Tell us about this.
Well, because of the sequester that the Republicans insisted on,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of federal employees are looking at a 5% pay cut.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them are being furloughed and so on, and that are being furloughed, and some are being laid off because of the pay cuts that the Republicans insisted on, even though they're stupid pay cuts, and this is they're stupid budget cuts, and this is the wrong time for budget cuts,
Mm-hmm.
as everybody knows that economies of scale grow their way out of debt. They don't cut their way out of debt. Just look at Europe, but then that's another story.
Okay.
So President Barack Obama and Defense Secretary Chuck Hagel are voluntarily surrendering a portion of their paychecks in a show of unity with furloughed federal workers.
Mm-hmm.
And this has prompted other cabinet officials to take similar steps.
Mm-hmm.
John Kerry has said that he will donate 5% of his government salary to charity that
Mm-hmm.
benefits employees of the State Department.
Mm-hmm.
And Vice President Joe Biden, his office told CNN that he will take a pay cut if his staff is affected by forced budget cuts.
Mm-hmm.
But now the thing that's really interesting about this is that even though Janet Napolitano has pledged to give 5% of her salary to foundations that benefit employees, and Jack Lew, the Treasury Secretary,
Mm-hmm.
has pledged a portion of his salary,
Mm-hmm.
and that Attorney General Eric Holder has said that he will volunteer to cut his salary.
Mm-hmm.
But we haven't heard anything from the Republicans in Congress who are such deficit hawks.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't heard any of them volunteer to give up a thing.
No.
Isn't that strange?
Isn't that strange?
Isn't it though?
Absolutely amazing. And we haven't heard them talking about this president not leading. The president leads all the time.
Yeah.
And now he's leading on this. They sure talk a whole bunch of smack. But this president, when things were so bad in 2008, this president was paying mortgages.
Yeah.
And they call that change you can deposit.
Yes.
That was the headline on that story. Have you ever heard the Republicans speak about that?
No, and they won't.
He paid folks mortgages, and now he's taking a pay cut. But will the rest of these bastards up at Capitol Hill take a pay cut?
Brenda.
Bastards is in the Bible, Jack. You gotta let me call them that. You got to let me call them that, Jackie. Now, come on. I'm trying not to cuss, but I got to be able to call them something.
What is it? He who has no father.
Yeah, okay. Okay, these sons of guns, he who has no father. Do you hear them taking a pay cut? No, there's never enough money for them. So they continue to take a pay raise from the NRA.
Yes.
That's all they got, just they can never have enough money.
No.
It just makes me so mad, Jackie, that I cannot stand it. And so the sequester, unemployment, and the budget.
Yes, and so the last Friday, the unemployment numbers came out, and they were dismal. They were not very good. The Republicans immediately jumped out to say the reason that the unemployment numbers were not very good was because of the tax hike.
Oh, we back to that again. If you give the job creators a tax cut, everything will be all right. And they tried that for 8 years, and the country went down the tube.
Yes.
And here we back.
But for some reason, practical experience has no effect on Republican ideology. Okay.
No.
No. So the Republicans immediately jumped out and said, oh, it's because of the tax increases. But economists say that that's not so.
Jackie, I don't know if you need to hit them in the head with a 2x4, a bat, a rock, but you cannot make them speak sense with you and to you. They are on such a talking point, and if you ask them beyond that talking point,
yes,
you're not getting anything.
Yes.
It's just the most amazing thing I've ever heard. If Barack Obama slid and skated and jumped over and around questions like that, he would not be president for us sane people.
No.
Because we're sitting here looking at the TV and we're saying, they didn't answer the question. Barack Obama warned that you are going to see traffic controllers laid off. You are going to see military families taking a cut. He warned all that, and he's just trying to scare y'all.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as the mess starts happening, what are they saying? Well, they're telling a lie. Because we raised our taxes. And everybody and every economist knows, and all the birds know, and all the fishes and the fowls, they all know that this has nothing to do with these jobs. The sequester has to do with these job cuts. The sequester has to do with the low job numbers. But again, I say, if only 10,000 people found a job rather than us losing, that's a good thing.
Yes.
But we had 88,000. But listen, there were 2 airports closed here in Florida, Jackie.
Yes.
Because they didn't. I read a story where the pilots were doing the air traffic controller. Where you at? I'm below you, dog. I'm up here. I'm 15 feet out. This is, and the president warned that this would be what would happen. Jackie, they don't care. I have said it from the beginning. They are willing to see this country go to hell and back rather than have history read that this black man, which doesn't have anything to do with it, this great man that we chose for president, saved this country, but in their eyes, a black man saved this country. Well, so what? Black folk built it.
Yeah, and not only that, he's still an American. Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. He's a Kenyan. I'm sorry.
Yes, he's a Kenyan moo juju.
Yes, terrorist. Yes.
Yeah, beloved terrorist.
Yes.
And he's buckwheat.
Yes. Well,
But he's still our president, damn it.
What I am hopeful for, and this is just me hoping, is that the American people will see that the only way that we're going to get out of this malaise that we're in is to push the Republicans out of the way. We cannot have the Republican Party running anything.
No.
Of government.
And they made that very clear to us, Jackie. And I don't care how many seminars that they have to teach you how to talk to people. Don't believe it.
Yeah.
If you got to learn how to talk to me, something is wrong.
Yes. If you don't know how to speak to another human being.
I can go talk to the president or anywhere. I don't care where I was born. Now, of course, if I got to meet the president and talk to him, I may wet my pants, but I can still talk to him.
That would be a trick. I'd like to see that.
Okay, but
yes.
You ain't got to talk to me, Jackie, about how not to offend people.
Yes.
You do not.
It's not just about how not to offend people. It is just knowing that people, that we all, human beings, all have certain basic needs and desires. You know, that Maslow's hierarchy of needs, that once you get your food and your shelter taken care of, and, you know, then you can go on to other higher pursuits.
And once you get your food and your shelter taken care of, and you want to make love with the same sex, that's your right too, damn it.
Now, how did we get here? Now you start to sound like Louis Goldberg.
I'm just saying.
Louis Goldberg.
Johnny.
Hey.
Ain't he on your Negro Please list?
Oh, he's been Negro Please so many times.
Louis Gomer talks so crazy, Jackie.
Girl by now. Yes.
He talks so crazy. He sounds like Gomer Powell, but Gomer Powell had more sense than Louis Gomer. But
and this goes back to the way they drew their district.
Jackie, it just sounds.
Louis Gomer has no business being in the United States House of Representatives.
He has no business being in the United States, Jackie. He needs to be on the island with the leopards. That boy is crazy.
Yes, I find it impossible to believe that there are people who like having him as their congressman.
And he just keep on.
If congressmen were a fool like this, believe you me, sweetie, I'd be working hard.
And he just keep on talking. He always, I got something to say. And now listen, he just keeps on talking. I mean, he and Todd Aikman and a few of them need to just be chained together and just drug on out there on the island with the leopards. And I know the leopards will be, don't bring them fools out here. Them boys is flat ass crazy.
You are such an
Wait, Jackie, I got to play Don Young just one more time, okay?
Okay, go ahead.
I just want to hear him say it one more time.
Okay.
Hold on, y'all.
I used to, my father had a ranch. We used to hire 50 to 60 wetbacks and to pick tomatoes. You know, it takes two people to pick the same tomatoes now. It's all done by machine.
I can never get enough of that.
I mean, it's amazing, isn't it?
Okay, these are truly
unself-conscious.
These are truly the three stooges: Don Young, Louis Gomer, and Todd Aiken. They and I swear, if they sent them to the Leopard Island, they would say, "Don't bring them fools out here.
No, yeah.
We just look strange. We ain't crazy. Y'all got to find them an island all their own. These are some insane."
They have issues.
David Capers is in the chat room and he says wetbacks.
What are you doing in there? Dave, don't you have a show to do?
Coming up in 20 minutes, Daddy Boo Boo gonna take you there on that wild ass train ride. This is so crazy, Jackie. This is so hard because my head once again is hurting. I don't know why I keep associating with people that make me laugh so hard.
I don't
that my head is hurting. And now, y'all, we have 35 minutes left. And I have to do a little commercial break right here. And then I will let Jackie come back and finish up with her topics, the brain study. And we are right back on the duck dick train again.
But can I have 2 minutes to just make a
Yes, you absolutely may.
Today, the president is submitting his budget to Congress.
Mm-hmm.
And in Congress, they've been complaining in the House of Representatives, how come the budget is 3 months late? Well, the budget is 3 months late. The president sent them a letter back in January and said the budget is going to be late because we've had all this sequester and other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to take this into account before we present you with a budget because we don't know what our baseline is. Now, that makes all the sense in the world, doesn't it?
Makes all the sense in the world. And Jackie, they continue to claim that he doesn't have a budget.
Yeah, and the Republicans continue, the president ain't doing his job. Oh, please, we know who's not doing their job. The president is working hard. It's you bastard.
And Jackie, they have taken. I don't want to talk too much about your duck dick studies coming up, but this thing won't die since I brought it up last Thursday night on Up All Night with Brenda White. But they will take anything that they possibly can, including this duck dick research, to direct your attention elsewhere. Okay, so their new attention was on Beyonce and her husband, who broke no law, who got permission to go to Cuba.
Okay.
What the hell was that all about? They wanted to fine Beyonce and her husband Jay-Z $500,000 for going to Cuba. Well, how much did John McCain go? And he was right in there in 2007 or 8, shaking hands with Gaddafi and promising him.
You mean Castro?
Castro, and promising him guns. Promising
Not
him
in Cuba.
some. Okay, Cuba, Castro, Gaddafi, they all the same.
No, Gaddafi and Libya don't do that.
Okay, sorry.
Don't go Republican on me now.
Okay.
don't do that.
Y'all see how Jackie won't let me make up shit?
So,
She just won't let me act like a Republican. Just sometimes, just make up some shit.
No. Just one group of those fools is enough.
And Jackie, and you're right. I do not want to be chained to them stooges.
Yes. So back to the budget.
Okay, back to the budget.
Yes. The president, the budget, the outline highlights of his budget are that he does have a deficit reduction component that a lot of Democrats do not like.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that I do have to, especially with Social Security, I mean, there's really no reason in my mind to include Social Security in any of this. That's another story.
Mm-hmm.
But what the president is working on doing with Medicare and Social Security and those type things is to reduce the growth of those programs.
Jackie, I promise you this, and I'm going to tell you, I'm going to play political psychic, as you and I have done many times and been right. I promise you this. If the president has any such cuts or changes to Social Security, I can promise you it is not going to detriment cause
beneficiaries.
Yes, to the seniors. I guarantee you he's got some little plan, some little twist in there.
Yes, well, it's my understanding, for instance, with Medicare and Medicaid, what the president and his folks are looking at is reimbursement to providers, not to cutting care for the beneficiaries.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have looked at this healthcare thing at all, you know that there is a lot of room in there for payments to
That's
providers.
what I'm talking about. And they have looked at this. President Obama wouldn't stand there and plead to the public and say, I don't want them doing these cuts on the backs of seniors. I guarantee you, people, he's got a little twist in there.
And it's not just that. It is also that these programs have to be constructed to adequately reflect the demographics and
today's in today's market and world and you know
and not only that, the changes to the American demographic.
Yes, you've got to accept.
These programs have to be in line with demographic changes of the country.
Yeah, and if you just talk about changes, they start yelling. Oh, but look, people, every now and then, in our lives, something changes. But it's not going to stop for you. So give the president a chance to work this out for you. You know.
Yes. Well, the thing is that the Republicans, to them, compromise is a dirty word. And another thing in the budget that the president has done is he's outlined certain investments that he wants to make. And I mean investments, and they keep talking about the government spending, blah, blah, blah. And he wants to take care of that by closing some of these loopholes.
Thank you.
Yes, and then by identifying other sources of revenue to help to pay for specific things. And what's most interesting is everything that the president has in his budget, where we were going to do some additional spending or a different program or something like that, he also has in there how that's going to be paid for.
Yes. He's
now,
not...
The Republicans, they like spending money,
but they
don't want to pay for it.
They don't want to pay for it.
That's how we got in the jam that we're in.
And they keep lying on the president about all his spending. The president can't spend SHIZ. He can't. Congress does that.
Yes.
And they've been set in their ways for so long, with the way they've been spending and the TARP and all that kind of crap that they've been doing. And behind the scenes, as they constantly talk about spending, like Joe Biden embarrassed that little old boy, little old boy, Paul Ryan. I started to say Eddie Munster. Yeah. As he embarrassed him by saying, this guy has written me 5 letters asking for $21 million for his district. And the moderator looked at him, did you do that? Well, everybody does it. Yeah. Right. We know y'all all do it. And we know who does the spending and the giving away. And just like Michelle Bachman's and her husband's clinic, the Pray the Gay Away clinic, they get $169,000 a year from the government for nothing but bullshit.
Yes, and the thing that is most interesting about it is simply this. The Republican Party, they don't have any problem with spending money. They just don't want to spend money to help a broad segment of the population.
No, they want to give all the breaks to the very rich.
Exactly, and that's where we go. I mean, that's one of the problems that we're having with the post office and other things. And I have been so...
Well, Jenna said that they have let the post office alone, Jackie. They got a letter the other day. The post office...
Okay. Well, since Dennis works for the post office, I'm not going to...
Yes, he came in and he bragged that they stood up and they read a letter the other day at work and that they are safe now. And that took a lot of pushing. It took a whole lot of talking about it, though, because... and I don't know that every situation of it is safe, but, that's what my son said.
This is what I heard, is that Congress has demanded that the post office not end Saturday delivery.
That's one thing.
But they keep taking money out. They keep forcing the post office to take huge chunks of money out of their system to put in for their retirees.
Yes.
They really don't need to do that.
And I understand that no other company...
What I was about to say is that I've been so upset about the whole post office thing that I had to write to my congressman and say, Sam, please, would you guys please do something about
because the government doesn't give
Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats.
The government doesn't give the post office a dime. They make all of their money through the services.
That's right.
Stamps, envelopes, and they give you the boxes.
Yes, and that's what I was about to say. The thing about the post office is I don't use FedEx. I use the U.S. Postal Service for everything.
I do too, Jackie. Yes? I do too.
Because for me, the post office is the cheapest and most convenient way to get anything.
This is just another Republican trick to privatize the post office so they can give it to some of their fat buddies.
What's his name at FedEx? Fred Smith? He has like some really common name. The CEO of FedEx, the guy who founded FedEx.
I don't know.
But what everyone should know too in reference to the post office. And I'm sorry, guys, that I've gotten off on this topic, but this post office thing just chaps my ass. Whenever something makes me mad enough for me to write my congressman about it,
okay,
my ass is chapped. Okay, but and another thing too that I have to say to everybody: get to know your congressman.
Yes, and call that White House number. And I wrote that down just so that I would be announcing it as Chris Matthews is. Call your congressman. There, you can find it easily.
All you have to do is go on the House of Representatives website, and you'll be able to find it.
Yeah, and you can find.
I just wanted to say, Brenda, one other thing that a lot of people don't know, that FedEx contracts to the U.S. Postal Service to do certain deliveries for them.
Yeah, because they can't get it done.
Yeah.
They need them.
The Postal Service is, first of all, the Postal Service is in the Constitution.
Thank you.
All right. So in order to get rid of the U.S. Postal Service, you're going to have to rewrite the Constitution.
Mm-hmm. Well, they'd like to get rewrite all of the 17th Amendment and the
14th Amendment,
14th.
One of the favorites that they hate.
Yeah, that's a favorite they hate. You know.
I think it was the 19th Amendment. They gave women the right to vote.
Yeah, and I think the 17th Amendment.
They want to get rid of
the 17th Amendment freed the slaves, didn't it?
No.
What amendment freed the slaves, Jack?
No, that was the 13th and 14th Amendment.
13th and 14th. They sure want to get rid of that.
Yeah, they want to get rid of it.
And I forgot what the 17th Amendment is about, but they want that out of there too.
Yeah, the 19th, whatever.
Yeah, let's 1 through 20.
Well, there are Republicans who believe that any amendment after the Bill of Rights is not legal.
Yeah,
that's just a little throw in to there.
And we got some
I know
nuts.
we have to take a break.
Yes, we have to take a break. You are listening to Let's Talk About It with the wild and wonderful Brenda White and the uppity and well-read Jackie Lambert. We are Spreaker's 2012 U-Voice Award winners for the most informative, and that's what we try to do. Now, I want to play a couple of commercials for you right now that has to do all with the Brenda White shows, the David Capers shows.
Why are you going to play the commercials if you can tell people what they are?
Are you talking monkey talk to me on my show?
At www.spreaker.com, create your own radio show and find thousands of exclusive radio channels.
Hi, this is Brenda White of The Brenda White Shows at Spreaker.com, inviting you to join me every Friday night for Spreaker's Triple Threat in full effect, beginning with your girl Brenda Pearl at 9 p.m. until 12 a.m. at the Boogaloo Cafe for nothing but the blues. I'm talking about down in the Delta juke joint kind of blues. We got fish scent in the air. We got snuff juice everywhere. We got shaking box cod Joe. We even got sawdust on the floor. So you tell Peg and Caroline Dine that we gonna have a heck of a time all night long. And then waiting in the wings from 12 a.m. until 3 a.m. in the morning, baby. And after hours is my daddy boo-boo, David Capers, helping you to unwind by putting a spell on you with the smoothest and the very best of old school jazz and R&B love songs on the net. And then comes the Love Doctor, DJ Tony Sanchez, from 3 a.m. until 5 a.m. He will take you through the eye of the storm and then get you in between the sheets with the most mellow contemporary music you've ever heard. So don't miss Spreaker's Triple Threat in full effect, beginning with your girl Brenda Pearl at 9 p.m. And then from midnight until 3 a.m., David Capers, a.k.a. My Daddy Boo Boo. And laying your body down at 3 a.m., the Love Doctor, DJ Tony Sanchez. It all happens right here every Friday night at Spreaker.com. I'll see you in the chat room, all times Eastern. Oh, yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. That's Friday nights, a triple threat. We got Thursday night's triple threat. And now, coming up, hold on to your panties and your wigs too. Because coming up, oh, here it comes. I can hear it. Oh, it's Daddy Boo Boo and that Razor Blade Express. Woo! Yeah, hold on to your panties. Get your wig, girl. Now, this ain't no wig wearing weather. Coming up at 6 o'clock, David Capers and the Razor Blade Express. Oh, let's go, y'all. Oh, sookie now. Woo! From 6 until 8 p.m. Eastern Time. You're going to be riding the Razor Blade Express, and then you'll join me from 8 until 10 for words of inspiration and prayer. Oh, let's go, all aboard! David Capers, a.k.a. My Daddy Boo, coming up at 6 o'clock right here at Spreaker.com. Oh, Jackie, I love it. Coming up, that Razor Blade Express, baby. Okay, so we're back, and Jackie's got the brain study and the problem with the dick ducts, and then her Negro Please Dumbass comment of the week. Go ahead, Jackie, lay it down.
All right. Well, the president has initiated an initiative that is designed to map the human brain. And the president would like to give more than $100 million in grants to research groups across the country that show enough merit to contribute to a universal mapping of the human brain. Now, this project is not unlike the Human Genome Project that was started under President Clinton. Mm-hmm. And under that project, the government granted about $3.8 billion to map all the possible genetic sequences within the human body. Mm-hmm. And President Obama likes to point out that for every dollar spent on that, there has been a $140 return from the Human Genome Project. Mm-hmm. And since scientists have been working in different sectors on mapping the human brain, and what they want to do is to find out exactly what it is in each part of the brain that controls certain things. Mm-hmm. And this could open the door to understanding better about Alzheimer's and Parkinson's disease and a whole lot of other things. Mm-hmm. And because this is a very broad field of study. So the government program is designed like the Human Genome Program was, in that it helps to bring it all under one umbrella and helps to create one coherent study out of a lot of different studies. Uh-huh. Okay? And of course, the Republicans don't want this to be done. And I just want to say the initiative works alongside the National Institute of Health, the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, and the National Science Foundation. Okay? Mm-hmm. So, yeah, the Republicans really have an issue with this because they don't believe in science and they don't believe in real education. And who the hell needs it anyway? Because the private sector is going to do it. Well, no. And they don't believe in it because the president is black. You know, the private sector doesn't get involved in this stuff until they see a way to make some money out of it. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, one of the things that has come up in the wake of the president's announcement is the study that was done about duck dicks. Yes, the duck penis.
The Duck Penis Research Project 2013.
Yes.
Yes.
This is the interesting study of the duck dick.
Now, I want you guys to know that this study has been going on since 2009. Mm-hmm. All right. But it's just now that there's this big brouhaha about it.
And this, once again, is showing how wasteful the president is. The president didn't give them that money. Congress did.
Well,
Congress is the only SOBs that can spend money.
Yes, that they allocated the funds for this. Yes, they did.
Yes, and it didn't bother them a duck. I mean, it didn't bother them a bit when the duck's dick was getting researched and got the money in the first place. But this now is just a way for them to try to just be a damn troll tapping at the ankles of the president every time he comes across the bridge.
The troll under the bridge.
The troll under the bridge. Here we go again. Anything they can mess with him about, he's wasting money. Okay, he just took a pay cut. Now, will you sons who have no mother take a pay cut?
Yes.
and let this man deal with this business at hand that is so important for this nation to move forward. I'm so sick of it. I feel a headache coming on again.
Well, hold that headache because it's going to hurt more.
Oh, Lord. Here we go. Finish,
Okay,
Jackie.
the Congress, now they are going through the National Science Foundation funded research so that Congress, can weed out projects that they consider unworthy.
Yes.
Now, I want you guys to think about the Republicans on the Congressional Science Committee, okay, who don't even believe in science. I do not want those people making the decisions on any research project. I think that is better left to actual scientists.
Okay. And Jackie, I don't want to hear no singing scientist coming into the studio trying to sing to me. And I'm not going to mess with him because I don't know nothing about science except that what the experts, the scientists tell me.
Yes.
Why can't they be like that, Jackie?
I don't know. And I have to tell you that I find this duck dick research absolutely fascinating.
Yes, and so does the scientist that is doing it.
Yeah, that's Patricia Brennan.
That's doing the ducks.
Yeah, that's Patricia Brennan of UMass Amherst.
Jackie, why did you have to start this again? Last Thursday night, I was practically sick the whole 4 hours. Well, 2 hours, because I told this story. And you have got David Capers in the chat room already quacking up. But go ahead. You want to start the duck dick stuff again. Go on, talk about it.
Okay.
It is political.
What we find is what Professor Brennan says is that male ducks force copulations on females. That means they rape them.
That's right. Did you know, Jackie, she also said that half a duck's sex is rape?
Yes.
Half of it is duck rape.
Yes.
That's what she said.
And because of this, male and female ducks have evolved into a genital arms race. Okay?
Say what?
They are currently engaged in a genital arms race. The male ducks have elaborate corkscrew-shaped penises. What? And the females are often unable to escape the males trying to screw them. So the females have evolved a vaginal morphology that makes it difficult for males to inseminate them.
Oh, that's that shut that whole thing down thing.
Yeah. The males have a counterclockwise spiraling dick, and the females have a clockwise spiraling vagina.
Put it, Tad.
That has blind pockets that prevent the male sperm from actually inseminating them.
No shit.
So when Todd Aikens said that women have a way to shut that whole thing down, what he meant was women ducks have a way to shut that whole thing.
Yeah, I mean.
He didn't mean human women.
Yeah, I mean, we got strong muscles down there, but it really won't stop a forceful rape, Todd.
Don't do it. I mean, and this is basic scientific research.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and that is what the government usually funds. Just really basic scientific research. Because no pharmaceutical company is going to fund this because they can't figure out a way to make money on it.
Mm-hmm.
This is just a way to expand our knowledge base and, of course, for us to have a few laughs.
Well,
okay.
Yes, indeed. And Jackie, you know, when I read it, I thought they were going to say something like there was some kind of little cell or something in the duck dick that was going to help with Alzheimer's. And we know, or help with bipolarism. And we want us to give those kind of people all the help they can get.
Yes, well, what the president said when he was announcing.
But all she said while she was studying the duck dick so intensely was that it was really interesting.
Yes, and it is.
And it is interesting. And they've since taken the picture away. But when I found the story on Google,
mm-hmm.
the story led off with the erection of the duck's dick
mm-hmm.
in the spiral thing that it goes into when it's getting
mm-hmm.
ready to get a little foul fanny. Mm-hmm. That's AKA female putty tat.
Mm-hmm.
Just wanted to break it down to him.
Thank you.
Foul Fanny. And I didn't think of that. That was the brilliant Jillian Anderson, who was missing in action with us a little bit. She came up with that as the duck, female duck genitalia as Foul Fanny, AKA Duck Punani. Mm-hmm. And so this was interesting, but how long you gonna study on this corkscrew dick and the females being able to shut it down?
Yeah, well,
cause some little ducks is being born. Okay, it is 50%. Some of the ducks don't like being raped, and some let it happen.
Well, I'm sure that some, choose their partner, because the female ducks, like many females in a variety of species, we like to be able to choose the best. We like to be able to choose the alpha males to give us children.
And sometimes we feel like doing it, and sometimes we don't. And I guess the ducks feel the same damn way.
Exactly correct.
I'm a menopausing dog. Get the stuff away from me.
Yes.
This is crazy. And Darcy and David Capers in the chat room, y'all ought to be ashamed of yourself for laughing at this mess.
Well, they're laughing because it's funny, Brenda.
Yes, it is. now I'm acting like a Republican. Don't do what I do. Do what I say do.
Yes.
So I'm laughing and telling them not to laugh, and that's basically the Republicans.
Yeah, let us laughing because it's really funny.
Yeah, let us spend money. You don't spend money. You don't do what we do.
That's
you do like we say do.
Not as we do. Yeah, and I think that's. I think the one thing that we have seen with the Republicans is that they are not even trying to disguise their hypocrisy. They're just openly hypocritical.
They are openly
hypocritical. We're just supposed to accept it.
As I told you earlier, Jackie, that there's supposedly school training, that the school guard training, pistol popping training seminars that they're giving the NRA all over the country. Chris Matthews asked them, how do you know that these people that you're training won't snap or won't go off and start shooting kids or something? Cause we did background checks. That wasn't hypocritical.
Exactly.
They don't want us to have.
No, they don't want universal background check.
They will universal check all of their criminals.
Yeah, exactly.
And you got to be crazy to be working for the NRA, and you know, Jack, that they are gun thumping fools.
Well, may I just say this? Not all NRA members are gun thumping fools.
That is true, Jackie.
Not all of them. It is the NRA leadership, which has been co-opted by gun manufacturers.
That $40 billion.
What that is. And if we really want the NRA to straighten up, in order for the NRA to straighten up, it's going to have to come from their membership.
Yeah, and that $40 billion.
I am rooting for them. I'm absolutely rooting for the NRA because poll after poll shows that a majority of the NRA membership, they are psychos.
Yeah.
A lot of these people, most of them are just, hunters, collectors, law-abiding people who use firearms, enjoy firearms for lawful purposes.
You are absolutely right, Jackie.
So
and the only reason...
Don't beat up all the NRA.
That's right. You are absolutely right. And I shouldn't even joke about that because all NRA members ain't crazy.
That's right.
And don't belong on the island of Dr. Moreau. and so...
Island of Dr. Moreau,
okay.
Yeah. Well, Brenda, can we, since we're down to our last 6 minutes, I would like to get away from the duck dicks and lepers island and
yes, thank you.
Negro please and dumbass comments.
Please do.
Okay. This week's Negro Please Award goes to the incomparable Mitch McConnell, Minority Leader of the United States Senate.
Woohoo! And what he do?
Well, Mitch McConnell, as you know, has been very concerned about Ashley Judd possibly running against him for his Senate seat in Kentucky. Mm-hmm. And a private tape was recently released, I believe it was yesterday, actually, by David Corn and Mother Jones, where in this tape they are discussing how best to smear Ashley Judd. Mm-hmm. Senator McConnell comes out, and he gets the Negro Please Award because he comes out and he says that the Democrats, the crazy left-wing Democrats in Kentucky, and I don't think there are any of those. I don't think those exist, kind of like the Friends of Hamas. Okay.
Okay.
But the crazy left-wing liberals of the state of Kentucky have employed Nixonian tactics to bug his office.
Okay.
Now, what I love best about this is even though Senator McConnell was asked several times by the press in attendance if he was intending to launch a smear campaign against Ashley Judd, he absolutely ignored that and continued to say over and over again that first his wife's ethnicity was attacked, and then these crazy left-wing liberals bugged his office.
Yeah.
Neither of those things, well, as far as the liberal wiretap thing goes, there's no proof. So I won't say that.
Yeah, and he's already said that they've got these Nixonian tactics going on against me. Well, what's your name? They got these Nixonian tactics going on against me. Well, who bugged office? They got he just won't. He doesn't have an explanation.
Yeah,
he
and
just
the thing
shamed.
that I find the thing that I do know is untrue though. Is when he says that the left-wing liberals of Kentucky.
Okay.
Kills me, a Kentucky liberal.
Okay, okay, stop it already.
When he talks about how they attacked his wife's ethnicity, that was not the Democrats.
Thank you.
That was not the Democrats. That was Tea Partiers, a splinter Tea Party group.
Yeah, that's the Republican Party's first cousin.
Yes, because as we were talking about earlier in the show, they have issues with non-Caucasian people.
Absolutely.
And so, in their eyes, Mitch McConnell is a traitor because he's married to an Asian woman.
Yes, Lordy.
So that makes him impure. And that is what struck me most about what Senator McConnell said. And I love the way these guys, they just tell lies. They don't care.
Okay.
What did you say, Brenda?
You tell a lie, I tell a lie. And if you don't tell a lie, we gonna tell a lie.
Yes.
So we just love to lie. Now, Jackie, it is time for us to say goodbye because our good friend David Capers is waiting in the wings.
Okay, that's right, Dave. You got a show to do. Get ready for
Dave,
your
you got a show to do, dog. Get ready for your show. You have been listening to Let's Talk About It, winner of the Spreaker U Voice 2012 Award for Most Informative. I am the wild and wonderful Brenda White, and joining me to help you talk about it and always helping to keep you informed has been the uppity and well-read Jackie Lambert. We want to also remind you that this will be our new time slot. And unlike the Republicans, when things change for Jackie and I, we have to make those changes as well. So now, Let's Talk About It will be aired every Tuesday afternoon at 4 o'clock until 6 o'clock, okay? We did today because we missed yesterday due to all sorts of technical problems. But our new time will be 4 o'clock until 6 o'clock Eastern time every PM every Tuesday afternoon, okay? We want to thank you so much for joining us here. Waiting in the wing is David Capers, a.k.a. My Daddy Boo Boo, for that wild Razor Blade Express train ride. And then coming up at 8 o'clock until 10 o'clock will be your girl Brenda Pearl hosting Words of Inspiration and Prayer from the Altar with Pastor Midikaya, and I promise you a shouting good time. And then from 10 until midnight Eastern time, DJ Tony Sanchez will be waiting in the wings right after me. If it's Wednesday night, it's Stepper's Delight with DJ Tony Sanchez. It all happens right here at Spreaker.com. Here at Let's Talk About It, we believe that injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. And what else do we believe, Jackie?
Free your mind, honey, and
your ass will follow. Okay, yay. We're out, y'all. And I want to thank my good friend, the fantabulous Brenda Lee Ager, for writing, singing, and producing our theme song, We Are One. That's what we believe right here. We'll see you next Tuesday night, and I'll see you at the altar in a couple of hours. Thank you. Goodbye. We love you. Say bye-bye, Jackie.
Individual differences and preferences should never breed a world of hate. Let me know.